In this video, I'm gonna tell you why the average Yu-Gi-Oh player sucks. And it's a lot worse than you think, and I'm talking to you. Stay tuned for the end of the video. This is gonna be a new style of video I'm gonna do. I really got to thinking. Yu-Gi-Oh players suck and they don't even know it. I'm gonna explain very specifically as to why. It's not gonna be some joke saying like, oh, you suck because you don't have my masterclass, bro. Go sign that, bro. You should. But I'm gonna explain why Yu-Gi-Oh players absolutely suck ass at Yu-Gi-Oh. They don't even know it. And this is not no elitist video either. Yes, I play more than you, so I'm better than you. No shit. Welcome how everything worked in life history since cavemen invented fire. And if one caveman invents fire more than another caveman, they're better at making fires as cavemen. Anywho, Yu-Gi-Oh players suck because, and they don't even know it. I'm gonna say exactly why. So, probably watching this video and you're thinking like, yeah, Trip, you get them, bro. Yeah, you tell them they suck. I'm talking about you. Like literally the average, even the above average Yu-Gi-Oh player, and I'll tell you why. Let's say you're at a regional, okay? You're at a regional and you overhear your friend, yeah, man, I lost because like they drew this. They just drew the out, man. And what they do is that they don't have the ability. This is a very important thing, and I want you to really, if you could take away anything from this video, it's to actually just critique yourself and get better. Because later in this video, I'll be critiquing myself on how I potentially could have won French Nationals if I critiqued myself. I rewatched the final, my top 8 match I lost. I rewatched all my replays, and I'm gonna explain why in this. So let's use example 1 here of your regional friend. Yeah, regionals, your buddy's like, yeah, I lost, man. My matchup wasn't winnable. I would have won. Man, I lost a dice roll. I would have won. Man, if my girl texted me back, I would have won the game. Man, if only I took the masterclass, I would have won. Yeah, all these like mistake, like crybaby bullshit crying. Like, this is what you need to do. Every loss that you have, you didn't lose because of that last play. You probably lost because somewhere along the lines of your duel, you sequenced something incorrect, and that one sequence led to a whole bunch of bullshit like butterfly. You need to make sure every play you do is done to the highest level of play can be done. Now listen close as I say this, because I really think this could help a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players. I draw my 5 and my opponent Fuwas. I don't lose. In fact, let's pull up this exact replay here against Julian in top 8. I think it'll help you guys kind of see this perspective here. So I get hit with Fualos on my turn. As you see, this is my turn. I get hit with the Fua. I don't sit there thinking like, yo, Fua, I lose. What you need to do in that game state, your thought process once you get Fua is not, all right, how can I make this up to my friends later that it doesn't look so bad that I lost? Guys, you're bad because you're not analyzing your replays. You need to really pay attention to this video to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh. So I rewatched this a few times actually. So this is game 2 at the moment, okay? I got hit with Fua. I don't sit there and I'm thinking like, I'm not like this. I'm like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? I'm sitting there concentrating. What can I do against Fua with my specific hand? And I know what he has in his hand because I already had Rico and Rotary. So I know exactly what he has. How do I set it up? I'm gonna go back a bit here so you see his exact hand, and I think that will kind of, you guys will kind of, there we go. You're gonna see his hand in a little bit. So I go Rotary. I don't know French, so we're gonna just mute that. I get another search off, and I know very much what he's playing. He's playing Branded. This is game 2. So I gotta deal with Super Poly. I gotta deal with crowns. I gotta deal with droplets. And I know this is also why I play 2 JJ. JJ is incredible against Fua, incredible against Joel. So I want to know his exact hand. And what I'm trying to do here is get the multiple KTSs set. My game plan against Fua is give right now, if you look, he's gonna draw his card. I have Mix and I have Maker. If there's no Super Poly, I could just give for one cost of 1 draw, I'm gonna have Zal and Remix. So this is me analyzing my replay if I did it perfectly. If there's no Super Poly in his hand, I'm just gonna start double KTS here, and one of my KTS will turn Mix and a level 3 I add Remix, and Maker and another level 3 I add KTS into Zalin. So I'll have Zal and Remix, right? So this is my game plan against Fua. I have a game plan against Fua. This is always my plan against Fua because I play so often. I know if I get hit with Fua, I know very exactly specifically what I'm gonna do. So I have my game plan ready. So let me see his hand with the Rotary, so I could make sure that there's no Super Poly, because if there's Super Poly, it ruins everything. So he's gonna reveal his hand after resolve my Maker search first. So this is what you need to do. You need to analyze your replays, and you have to know exactly, because a lot of people don't even recognize. And look, you see Super Poly. So I see Spark, Retribution, Fallen, double Super Poly. This is a scary hand. This is a scary hand because he could spark one of my cards. Probably he'll spark the Maker, and he could Super Poly something else after. So what do I do in this? I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set myself up in a situation where I'm gonna JJ tribute one of my monsters. I want to have no opportunity for him to Super Poly. I'm gonna set my cards, and on his turn I'm gonna play because I have KTSs. I even have playlists in my deck. So from this moment, I'm gonna just fast forward a bit. I JJ tribute my Mix. The comments are even saying, why did he tribute with JJ? It's like unbelievable how bad some Yu-Gi-Oh players are that even recognize this. Where I know damn well that if I leave Mix in the field for him to spark one of them, he just doesn't spark. Super Poly's my board away. And it's in this is why Kultun is a little bit of a difficult of a deck. You have to have the perfect specific play every single time. So in that moment, I recognize that I need to and only one body. And even if he sparks my maker, which is what expected, at least I'll have triple KTS for his no other follow-up. So there was no follow-up he had, right? Or sorry, no starter he had. Okay, I mean, he could just pass his turn and do nothing. What happens? He top decks a Luber. So I'm left with a choice now. I have Effect Veiler. I don't have Ash Blossom. I have Effect Veiler, and I have Playlist. I have KTS, and another card. So what's my choice here? If I have Veiler, I know he has fallen. Look at the comments here. If he Veilers, he dodges with Virtuous. If I don't Veiler this, I also have Clip in my hand. If I don't, this is why you have to watch the replays. If I don't Veiler this, I know he has fallen the Virtuous. Would you Veiler this? Would you watching Veiler this? I have Veiler in my hand, and I know he has fallen the Virtuous. He has Veiler. He dodges with Virtuous. Look at it. See that? They're all saying, oh, don't. I search Veiler, I think, with Pot of Prosperity. If I don't Veiler this is why a lot of people lame, like the classic region, oh yeah, I lost because my opponent had this. I lost because my opponent has that. No, you lost because you did like 5 misplays. You have to have each play done. I knew this situation coming. I knew very damn well that he could top deck in a Luber. I planned all this shit out before he even fucking drew a Luber in case he drew a starter. I Veiler this. Veiler versus Fallen. Who would win? Veiler against Quickspell. Do you guys see all these comments? All these comments are saying you dodge with Veiler. Julian has Fallen. Like, if I don't Veiler this, I lose the game. Because if I Veiler this, he chains Fallen, destroys his Aluber. Aluber resolves to get Branded Fusion or High Spirits. I just summon RS after that. RS could negate the Branded Fusion or the High Spirits. It'll be Branded Fusion, not High Spirits, because he has no monster. He's gonna get Branded Fusion. Now hear me out here. So he's gonna get Branded Fusion. I'm gonna stop it. But because I get rid of Aluber, because if I Veiler this and he Fallens, he destroys his own monster. He has Super Pulse. So if I put up RS and Aluber stays in the field, he could just Super Poly the Aluber and my RS into Mundrake, and I lose the game. So despite 10 people looking at this exact situation, I Veiler this, knowing damn well that he's gonna fall in the Virtuous, knowing damn well, I know damn well he's gonna do it, because he has no choice. But then I know damn well that in the same chain that this sets up my RS. The comments, Trif is cooked, boys. La na na na. Hey, or wait, what's that? Hey, hey, goodbye. Did they think I lost this game? Looking rough for Trif. No, I win this game by a landslide. But it's because these are the same type of players in the comments right now. You know, commenters don't get Yu-Gi-Oh! That would have recognized this game as like, oh yeah, Julian had Fua, he had Spark. Yeah, I lost because he had that. No, you lost. Like, a lot of them would not have Veilered an Aluber knowing they had fallen. I did that knowing that his Aluber would resolve, but knowing that my RS would be safe from his fallen and safe from his Super Pulse, setting me up in an absolute checkmate, because then he's gonna set some cards and I'm just gonna pop it with Playlist and it's game. So what happens? He sets 2. Look at this. He sets 2. I tribute with JJ, or no, I didn't get Playlist, it seemed. Yeah, I tribute with JJ, search Rico and Rotary. I pop 1 Super Poly, and then I Maker and another 3 into Zalin to bounce the other one. Then he has no cards left, and then I just go for an easy OTK here, because Maker will bounce the last set. And yeah, there's nothing else to see, because that's all I just bounced off. Now we're gonna go to game 3 here. Now, before we go to game 3, I just want to make emphasis here on why am I showing a random replay. It's not a replay thing. It's just basically this video will be why players aren't as good as they think they are. And the big thesis here is that you don't watch your replays. You think something else happened. I got hit with Fua. You know, I saw a hand that he didn't have many starters, and guess what? Top deck the Luber. Oh yeah, you guys, like, imagine this is after with your friends. Guys, yeah, why'd you lose, bro? I lost because he had Fua and Spark and Super Poly, and he had Fallen, and he top decked in a Luber. Oh my god, I lost. Guys, you have to, as long as you play, like, you have to recognize when you make an error. You have to play perfectly as you possibly can. And the average player thinks they lose because of variance, but it's not. It's because the better player understands that you have to give as long as you play perfectly as a game can be played, you're most likely in that situation to win. You can't pretend a situation it's not. You can't sit there and like, oh, he has Super Poly. Hi, where's my mommy? No, you have to play like the best as you can. So I want to show another example now where that was, at first, it's a lot worse of a game state for me than it looked like. Yes, I get that he had no starter. He drew an Aluber, but guys, he had every breaker in the game. Super Poly, Fallen, Spark, Fua. My board couldn't do shit. But knowing that, you know, that's how you play around Droplet as well. If I see my opponent has Droplet and I have Veiler to stop his only push, I will remove all cards on my field. I made sure to end on nothing to get hit with Super Poly. You have to view these games because you're like, yo, I could do that play to play out of that. Does that make sense? Now I want to show you guys a game 3, which, as much as I'm willing to look at a play and say I played perfectly, I also need to be willing to look at a game and say if I made a mistake or not. So my Julian summons Aluber. I have Ash, Illusion Gate, and Bell with 2 starters. My hand's broken. I have a strategy against Brandon. I was not hand trapping them all day long post side. Let me tell you guys something about Illusion Gate. And you know what? I'm gonna pull up Dueling Book real quick. Because I think that I want you guys to actually see this. Okay, so give me 1 sec here. I'm gonna actually pull up Dueling Book book. I'm gonna show you guys something huge here against branded. Okay, screw every branded player. Not except for my friends. But I want to show you guys something here. Okay, give me 1 sec. Hold up. I'm gonna show you guys something very amazing, and you guys are gonna thank me. Every single Cool Team player will thank me. And you see this shit. Whatever. I don't care if it doesn't look too pretty. I don't care. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Reset deck. Oh, begin siding. Post side deck. You have your cards. Okay. This is my French list. I want to show you guys something with. I'll show you just my exact hand. I just added 2 Eclipse here to test it out. I didn't play Eclipse in France, but I just tested some shit out. But this is not how it looks post side. I'm not showing you my siding patterns. I'm just gonna pull up my hand that I had. I had Illusion Gate. I had Ash Blossom. I had Bell. Now look at this exact situation, and I'm willing to look at this as a player. And if I made a mistake, I'm willing to take ownership if it was a mistake. So I had this. I had Rico, and I had Road. I think this was my exact hand, and I'm pretty sure I drew into another. Okay, so this is my hand. My hand's really good. It's a very good hand. All tournament long, I would do this against Brand. He opens Aluber. Now, if Aluber, let's say Aluber adds High Spirits. Now, I could very much just Ash High Spirits, and he actually would have passed his turn. He bricked. The only push he had was Aluber. But you don't know if that's his only push. What if he had Branded Fusion? Because he searched High Spirits. What if he has another Branded? What if he has Branded Opening with Gwen? What if he has, even though that's not as good? What if he had White Dragon? You could have all these things. Let me show you guys a checkmate against that deck. If you open Illusion Gate, and if you open Ash Blossom, this is a checkmate. Checkmate! The game's over. This is an auto-win 2-card combo against Brand. You guys don't know this. I know this. So I opened the checkmate against that deck. Illusion Gate and Ash Blossom. I'll explain how it's a checkmate. It checks everything of their interruptions. They'll have 0 interruptions if you have Ash and Illusion Gate. And 1 F&B doesn't count. Does not. You have Ash and Illusion Gate is a huge checkmate. This is why. You wait for them to do their full combo. You don't give a fuck. You wait for them to do the full combo. You specifically Ash Blossom Albion. Because Albion, they're gonna have a few things set, but the way that they get Branded Retribution is Albion. Ash the Albion, you draw, they have no retribution, you Illusion Gate their whole board, you special Aluber to your field, you trigger the Aluber, and you add FNV. I was doing this shit all day long. The only reason I'm saying Ash is Ash checks the Branded Retribution. So this is my combo all day. I was destroying Branded play. I would stop them from getting Retribution, or you could just open Duster or Lightning Storm, which I was siding, or Thrust, or Prosperity, whatever. You just out the Retribution, and then you Illusion Gate special Aluber, get FNV, and then your FNV checks their Albaz all game long. And then needless to say, you kill them with your hand. So I did this exact plan. I'm like, I see the Aluber. This is, I thought pretty long. I'm like, I know that he has, there's about 4 or 5 extra ones. Nadir as well, but I had Ghost Bell. But the thought entered one of his 2 Nadir, that happened to me before. I Bell and Nadir, he had another. I thought about it. I really did. Ultimately, I decided to stick to the game plan. It got me this far. So I made the conscious decision, educated decision, that I know Ash and Illusion Gate wins the game. It's a checkmate. I know it. And I have Bell just in case. Well, it turns out that it didn't work out for me because he had no other push. So I looked at this a little sad afterwards. He had no other push, but I knew damn well that this was my strategy. This was my play. So you can't go, if it gets you that far, it's like, hitting on like 15. If it's your strategy, if you have a specific, let's say if you want to hit on 16, if they show a 10, if that's your strategy, you do it. But if that's not your strategy, then you got to stick with your guns with what your plan is. Does that make sense? It cost me because he had no other push. So it did cost me. However, he also had the Simple Spoils card, which it did hurt me here a lot. The Simple Spoil card really hurt. I didn't know he played it. But even when he revealed it, I had Ghost Spell. So I stuck with my plan. I Ash End Phase, Albion. He has this. End Phase, he uses Fallen. End Phase, I Ghost Spell it. And then he hard drew 2 Fallens. And that stopped. I did not play, even though I didn't play around this card, I had Ghost Spell for the answer. But I stuck with my strategy. I have a game plan. I stuck with it. And it didn't work out. But in this exact situation, against most Branded players, I would win the game. Julian had some luck there, not gonna lie, but that's part of the game. I didn't sit there, I didn't complain to one person. I didn't sit there saying, oh no, he had 2 Fallens, bro. That's part of the game. I took my risk. And looking back at it, sometimes even doing the wrong play gets you a victory. I am still happy with what I did, and I would redo that a second time. But I rewatched this a few times and what I would change. And it would be, I would change nothing. I would change nothing. You have to live by the sword, and you have to die by the sword. It was my exact strategy, and I did it. So, to wrap up this video, most Yu-Gi-Oh players suck a lot more than they think because they're not willing to look at these replays at a loss and recognize a mistake. Some people might say, Trif, that was a mistake. You should recognize it. That's okay. I had that exact situation happen many times to me. I had Illusion Gate and I had a way to stop his Retribution. So I will stick with it. Maybe, in Yu-Gi-Oh, there's no rules are meant to be. In Yu-Gi-Oh, your rules for a deck, what if you really could just tell or have a random foresight, he bricked. Maybe you go away from it a little bit. So maybe that's on my fault. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I should have done better to recognize if he goes start Aluber and doesn't add Branded Fusion, maybe that means that it is a brick. I thought he had Branded Fusion in hand. That's why he got it. Maybe it is a brick. Maybe he had height. Or it was because he searched that. I thought thought that you had White Dragon, the White Albaz, so he won't be synchro locked. So maybe it's on me to recognize that. But that's what I'm saying here, guys. You have to be willing to look at your replays because that's how you'll get better at Yu-Gi-Oh! And the average player is not willing to look at that. I looked at each of their games. I recognized where I could have done better and where I couldn't. And I really took that to heart. And now, if you look at my Kultun textbook, it has 100 replays almost on. I have much more in actuality playing. I re-look at every replay I could. I re-watch them for that same style. And I'm like, you know what? That's where I learned Illusion Gate. That's where I learned, yo, if I had F and V in my deck right now, I would get a free Fallen to check his Albaz Rinbrum engrave. That's why I put it in my deck. Illusion Gate was MVP all tournament long. I might play 3 now. So that's why you need to look at it. And no, I didn't lose because I lost the dice roll. I didn't lose because he had Fua. I didn't lose because, you know, he hard drew 2 cards or whatever. I just lost. I did my best I could in each situation, and I played it, in my opinion, as perfectly as it could be played. If I can go back in time, would I ask the high spirits? I would not. Because I had the checkmate with Illusion Gate and Ash. I had the checkmate. It didn't work out, and that's Yu-Gi-Oh! For. But that's what I want to make this video for. You have to be willing to look at your replays and your mistakes, and even if it was a mistake or not, at least you're willing to look at it because you learn from it and you move forward. Too many players don't even, like, they just play a duel, they don't even test. Even if they go to locals, it's like they play for shits and gigs. It's like a basketball player that's not taking real in-game shots and you're taking half-court shots for shits and gigs. If you want to get better at Yu-Gi-Oh!, you need to be willing to, first of all, you need to be playing real situations like that, and you need to be recognizing if you made a mistake or not, and you have to watch the replays and see that. I'm looking forward to my next regional because I'll tell you this, if I have Ash in my hand and if I have Illusion Gate, my opponent starts Luber, I am not ashing shit. I'm gonna stick with my guns because I know for a damn fact I have the checkmate. If I stop the Retribution and I Illusion Gate Field and I search Fallen in the Virtuos. If I don't have Fallen in the Virtuos in my deck, maybe I don't do that. But that's what I'm saying. You need the strategies. You need to play to figure out. And that's why I can consistently do good at this game. I figure out exactly what my strategy is against every single deck. And that's why the textbook's fucking broken, because you have all my strategy. And I update it for every event that I go to. For example, this event, I only played a hand trap strategy. This event, I changed it. I changed it because I thought French Nationals, 18 rounds. I think there's going to be a lot of random decks. I want to have breakers as well. And in addition to not just the breakers, what about Kultun as well? I wanted an edge, and I figured out, hey, Ghost Spell, Ash, Harmonia, Ogre, Imperm, there are 11 hand traps I get saved for my turn. I don't need to waste it on his turn. Combine that with a few breakers, like 1 Bell, 1 Illusion Gate, check, it's a checkmate. That Imperm, Thrust, you know, Fallen, checkmate. I recognize that. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. Check the textbook down below. I'll see you guys next video. I'm winning in another YCS soon, mark my words. Peace!